pondering on the ways of the world today, thinking of my people Africa and the state of the continent today. How mothers fed their children today, as granny goes down on her knees every day and prays. How many souls are dying from causes that could be prevented if we did have leaders who cared for us today? Oh, 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 Zion and Yahweh, Zion away, Zion away. Africa rise, every 4 years, the politicians say he's your servant today. After you vote for them, they metamorphose into your masters. I say, have your say, we'll have our way here. Not no strange, it's called demon crosses. Meanwhile, souls are dying from causes that could be prevented if we did have leaders who cared for us today. Zion and Yahweh, Zion away, Zion away.
Never ever quit, just a little bit longer. Victory is near, they're gonna disappear, go under. The leaders, them no care, never tend to share. Babylon quit, the shedding of blood. Your heart are gonna survive the show, no love. Stay away, consciousness. What the God it is and if for no righteousness. Just make sure the children live.
Okie dokie, alrighty, 1212 Radio Culture. We are born right now. Yes, indeed. Welcome to today's live stream. My name is Kwesi Esonbako. I'm reaching you from Studio One, Texas, USA. My team is in Kumasi, Ghana, and together we will bring you a package today. We will bring you two interviews. First interview is with Mr. Richard Elimah. If you have been watching us, he will be no stranger to you. And with Mr. Elimah, he is a natural resources expert, and we will be talking about government's ban on community mining. What is community mining in the first place? We will go way beyond that ban and discuss a whole lot more, because he is a resource that we are lucky to have, and we will make sure that we are speaking with Mr. Elimah to extract some of that special wisdom. Thank you very much once again for tuning in with us. Radio Culture, iCulture TV. My name once again is Kwesi Esonbako. Our second interview will be the final concluding part of our interview with David Hundeyin, who is the founder of West Africa Weekly. David Hundeyin granted us an interview. We played two parts of it. Today, we'll be bringing you the concluding part of that interview. We also have the rest of your package, the report from our correspondents, as well as the other segments for you today. We will start it all off with the editorial in a quick second. Before that, we will go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Making healthy food choices are a daily challenge for most people. You see, the food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Introducing the Green Health Pharmacy and Functional Medicine Clinic that gets to the root cause of your disease. We present to you the True Green Foods brand that allows you to enjoy healthy food options without sacrificing the foods you love. True Green Foods have low-carb swallow options for fufu, banku, tuozafi, eba, kenke, amala, and semovita. Good tasting and supremely delicious without compromising blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight management goals, and all diseases that one may be battling with. They also have a low-carb replacement for oatmeal, grits, and cream of wheat, which are highly dense in carbohydrates. Check out Alta Oats, Beta Oats, Clean Oats, as well as Kajma Porridge and Cream of Lacca when you visit our shop. The breakfast options are not just delicious, but meet the standards of an anti-inflammatory diet. All True Green Foods are all diabetic friendly. Find Green Health Pharmacy in Woodbridge, Virginia, or call us on 703-670-3640. WhatsApp 571-300-5039. Find us on IG at Green Health Farm. There's no better way for a healthy lifestyle. Remember, your health is your wealth.
All right, so we're back, and we will go straight to the editorial. Newsroom, are you ready? Let's go straight to the editorial. Culture TV, Africa, from an African perspective. All right, let's go for it. Welcome to today's editorial. My name is Kwesi Esonbakun. Are you ready? Okay, today's editorial is titled, Mr. Speaker, your legacy will include your failure to deal with the army invasion of Parliament and Adjo Safo's impersonation issue if you don't act. Quite a mouthful, quite a long title, huh? But I think that takes care of what the message is today. It kind of sums it up. But let's put a little more flesh on the bone, if you will. Shall we? Welcome once more to the editorial. My name is Kwesi Esonbakun. I will start today by quoting a wise man that I interviewed on this platform a short while ago. That man said, if someone is defecating in your backyard, you don't stand and wait for them to finish. You drive them away. Well, in this case today, the defecator has been driven away outright, but the poop remains. Honorable Bagbin, sir, some years ago, while you were still speaker, a group of soldiers invaded your house, our house, the house that we, who have willingly or unwillingly signed on to this system of governance have entrusted in your care. So we demand some answers, sir. Is the house still sacred? Is it still sacrosanct? After soldiers invaded it and almost threw our democracy into a tailspin, I wonder why this matter has still not been properly investigated. That dastardly act had great potential not only to have derailed our many years of achievement as a stable democracy, but also sets a very dangerous precedent, which I thought Mr. Speaker would have noticed and sought to remedy. That dastardly act was reported to the world as soldiers stepping in to restore calm to an unruly house of legislators. But we all know that's not what happened. Don't we? Let's look at these. Newsroom, please take the... All right, let's take a look at this. The news was reported to the whole world as the army stepping in to quell some type of unruliness in the parliament. Mr. Speaker, you and your parliamentarians are taking the responsibility for what happened that day. This has been reported to the world as yes, we know what happened. We know somebody was trying to snatch, papers, whatnots. Yes, that was unruliness. But we also know that it took the same parliamentarians, Muntaka, to stop that nonsense. It did not need the army to come in there at all. So that is not what happened. What happened had nothing to do with any form of assistance that the army was there to give at all. So let's get that straight. That's not the only one. Let's look at some other ones. Because this was presented to the whole entire world as parliamentarians being unruly to the point where the army had to come in to restore sanity. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Let's take a look at some more examples. Within and without Ghana, I've shown you a few examples, right? So these cover how it was reported within Ghana and outside of Ghana. It was completely seen as parliamentarians being unruly to the point where the army had to come in to stop, to restore, what do you call it, order. That's not what happened. I think we've established that. So let's go on. Instead of seeking to remedy this misconception, however, Mr. Speaker, you have remained all but adamant about the obvious defecation in your backyard. And as the president, and the president remains, I should say, the culprits also remain unidentified, making it even more dangerous. Is this one of those scenarios where the knife is cutting too close to home for you, Mr. Speaker? Are the fish here too big to catch? Former Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwo has been fingered several times and has come out to deny this involvement. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Who stand up be informed that by 4 a.m. on the 7th of this, January, there was no defense minister in Ghana. Let them be informed. Let them be informed. Let them be informed that nobody in Ghana, let them be informed. Tell the gentleman here that he's just been nominated Deputy Minister of the Republic of Ghana.
Inconsequential. What I'm saying is that former Minister of Defense said that there was no defense minister at that point. So technically, he cannot take responsibility for being the one who gave the order as a minister of defense. Let's listen to what he said another time when he was being vetted.
The civilian has the capacity to be able to move and order the members of the armed forces. It's not possible. They will not do it. And they have never done it before. Mr. Chairman, so the names that were being bandied about, including my name, did not at that time have the capacity to move the armed forces. If you remember, I was a civilian, not a civilian, I was not a minister at that time. None of the people were ministers at that time. We didn't have the capacity. Even if you were a minister, you will still give whatever you want to say to the commanders. And if the orders are lawful orders, they will obey them. And I want to say that that is not what happened at all. None of us had the capacity. The name that's why I'm happy to use the word allegation.
You know what makes me uncomfortable is that this guy made it through to become Minister of Defense. And nobody to this point still found it necessary to follow up with the matter, right? The poop remains in the House of Parliament. The poop is sitting in the middle of Parliament. Nobody is taking responsibility for it. The Minister of Defense does not know or does not want to respond to who gave the order for soldiers to go into Parliament. That is strange and that's unsettling. And what's even more unsettling is that the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Bagbin, has remained silent on all of this. That's even more unsettling. That to me is even more unsettling. Again, let's get something clear. The man says no civilian can move the army. That's not true, technically. Technically, that's not true. And here's why. The president is not a soldier. The president is not a member of the army. However, he is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. His command is above every other command in the armed forces. So what do you mean when you say no civilian can move the army? And then again, the president works through his ministries, right? The president works through his minister. So in his time as defense minister, the president could work through him as a civilian to give orders to the army. Somebody tell me I'm wrong, but that's technically not true. However, he still made it through as minister. Everybody kept quiet. All right. Now, recently there's another video I was looking for to play for you. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it, and I don't know what's going on there, because recently there's an MP on the NDC side who came out to accuse Nitiwul, same Nitiwul again, of seeing him ordering the soldiers into the house. Right? That matter was never raised again. All we heard was some kind of offense taken for that matter being raised instead of proper investigations going through it. Now, before we wrap up, let me also bring the matter of Adwoa Safo. Adwoa Safo and the impersonation case also is something that we should also ask for proper investigations to be done into it, to be conducted into it. Because how dare anybody think that they can go into the House of Parliament to go be like they are somebody else? That is a crime of the highest order. And Adwoa Safo has come out to say that she was the one who was sitting there. Same person says she did not vote for COVID. Not COVID, what do you call it? E-levy. So how did they come up with the numbers? Proper investigations must be held for the public's confidence to be fully restored in that institution that we have paid for, called Parliament. Mr. Bagbin said, I'll wrap up with this. You have a sterling record as a politician. You have come far. You're probably the most experienced politician right now in terms of parliamentary business. You are going to leave a legacy. That legacy potentially includes the fact that you failed to deal with these two things, which you obviously can deal with. You still have some years left before you have to maybe hand over to another speaker. I think you still have some time, but I think the earlier you set out, the better. That poop sitting in front of your desk, it's not looking pretty. And I think you should get rid of it. My name is Kwesi Esonbakon. I come in peace. I come not to please. We'll be back with the rest of the show. When we come back, our interview with Mr. Richard Elimah, natural resources and development expert, on the ban on community mining and other issues. Thank you. We'll be right back. Culture TV, Africa, from an African perspective.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
And be lifted up, my people, I know for sure, music is the cure. Cure the insanity from the pressures of the system. I know for sure, music is the cure. Cure the insanity from the pressures of the system. I hear them say more. Oh, them say more. The people want more, and I have been there. Judgment and justice. Now them ya time. Oh. Keep the fire, now the music. Keep the love and please don't abuse it. You know my children, the princess, them a listen. Don't teach them nothing wrong, stay positive. Oh. Anytime you compose the music, make Rastafari guide your thoughts. Keep the words clean and please never lose that honesty and decency. I know for sure, music is the cure. Cure the insanity from the pressures of the system. I know for sure, music is the cure. Cure the insanity from the pressures of the system. I hear them say more. Oh, hey, people want more, and I have been gay. Judgment and justice. Now them ya time. Oh, we only do it for the love of the music. It is a weapon, control and music. They might not like us for the love of our people, but that's the way we choose. Yeah, no, we not do it for the likes in the media. Music educates and shape the meditation. Character was subconsciously. I know for sure, music is the cure. Cure the insanity from the pressures of the system. I know for sure, music is the cure. Cure the insanity from the pressures of the system. I know for sure, music is the cure. Cure the insanity from the pressures of the system. Hey, I know for sure, music is the cure. Cure the insanity from the pressures pressures of the system. Yeah, I know for sure.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Ejisu Ichakrum, just off the Jabin Road. We offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exquisite bar and restaurant, where our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delight to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international favorites, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event? Look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall. With a capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people. It is the perfect venue for your corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Ejisu municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241 418645. You can also email us at info@tucsonhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel, your home away from home.
All right, we're still waiting for our guest, Mr. Richard Elimah. I actually have him connected, but we're having a little technical issue over there. We would crave your indulgence to please stay on with us, and we will be right back with you as soon as we have this technicality sorted out. Thank you once again. We'll be right back.
Making healthy food choices are a daily challenge for most people. You see, the food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Introducing the Green Health Pharmacy and Functional Medicine Clinic that gets to the root cause of your disease. We present to you the True Green Foods brand that allows you to enjoy healthy food options without sacrificing the foods you love. True Green Foods have low-carb swallow options for fufu, banku, tuozafi, eba, kenke, amala, and semovita. Good tasting and supremely delicious without compromising normalizing blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight management goals, and all diseases that one may be battling with. They also have a low-carb replacement for oatmeal, grits, and cream of wheat, which are highly dense in carbohydrates. Check out Alta Oats, Beta Oats, Clean Oats, as well as Kajma porridge and cream of Lacca when you visit our shop. The breakfast options are not just delicious, but meet the standards of an anti-inflammatory diet. All True Green Foods are all diabetic friendly. Find Green Health Pharmacy in Woodbridge, Virginia, or call us on 703-670-3640. WhatsApp 571-300-5039. Find us on IG at Green Health Farm. There's no better way for a healthy lifestyle. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Best kept culinary secret. Hot a fire burn them. Red lava done them. Diarrhea run them. The wrath of God upon them.
You and your teeth and yourselves on fire. You're killing people every day. Anytime you open your mouth, up here lie, you're leading my people astray.
Government by family and friend, corruption never end. And you tell us, said you are God sent, but when we turn around the bend, you thieving with a pen. Coffee with family, and I struggle for fed. And when you come after we, like the cock on the end. What a pity when we sell our dignity as men. Politicians them attack we from the rear end. Lead we to a dead end. And the fake preacher telling I and I feel repent. With the money in my pocket is a mountain again. And when the gap are ever widen, fences can mend. So this question I send.
Where the money there? 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 Where the money there?
And me say where the money there?
I don't know.
Whoa, hot a fire bonding. Until they change their mind, the wrath of God upon them.
Through your lies and deception, wrong education, you poison yourself one way. But when the church and the state collaborate to keep us in slavery.
And by the ballot and the bullet, they put their gun to the head. Them say you have the right to talk, but talk too loud and you dead. It's like them have a different system for the leader and the leader. Hurt to run red. So get the youth boss and rise and show them how things be run. If them can't do it, come and make me show them how we done. And we now no more room for them like them days are gone. Up your fire burner. And them say,
where the money there? Where the money there? Where the money there?
the money they hiding in the Cayman Islands. So where the money they invested in foreign lands. So where the money they me personally, I don't know. So where the money they where the money they and I mean say hot a fire bone red lava down them, diarrhea on them, and the wrath of God upon them, until them change their mind, wrath of God upon them. But for people black, wrath of God upon them.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Because I knew there's a lot of, they throw a lot of buzzwords around multipolarity, non-intervention, and it could all be diplomatic nonsense. That it could all be get destroyed by the West and do nothing about it. The Chinese, militarily, the Chinese will not lift a finger to help you. They will not. I'm not sure why. I've heard a lot.
Thank you very much for staying with us. We really apologize for this mix-up. Listen, we have been trying to bring you Mr. Richard Elimah. We are having issues connecting with video, but I think we may be able to bring him to you on the audio. So, do we have Mr. Elimah? Good day, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, Chief.
Mr. Elimah, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you very much. Great. Thank you very much. Technology, man. Sometimes, yeah. We were hoping to have you.
Very frustrating.
It is very frustrating. This is the second time we've had you, and we still can't have you on video. That's very, very, very frustrating for me, to be honest with you. I don't know how we're going to solve that.
I may have to relocate to
Accra. Oh. Anyway, thank you very much for making time for us today. We know you have a really busy schedule. All right, so let's go straight with them, Mr. Elimah. First of all, and as I did introduce him, my viewers and listeners, Mr. Elimah is a natural resources and development expert. I have a video that I want to play, and this is why I wanted you to be here to see the video, so you can properly react to it. But hopefully we will be able to at least hear the audio and react to it for me. There are bits and pieces of that documentary that we spoke about in the last interview. And yeah, it is disturbingly very true even today. Let's take a listen and a view. We'll be right back after this.
I was at my base with my men when I received a call from the operations commander that a group of bandits had invaded this place and were causing damage to properties worth millions of dollars. So I rushed to this place with my men. When we came here, I saw that this road, the road here, had been blocked with stones and trees.
Adibia mseba obase ache na nansi na bebi a ekono ya hadwin kakra first no nanka omune nam surface obunwa ohun se eji ka kreba na wodwane no wayere ne boba kakra no oko basisi ano bebi edu ne se omo eko underground.
Now when the illegal miners come in, they come into the pillar area. And blasts with explosives. So what is happening is that every blast that you take is affecting the shaft barrel.
Na AGC wahono na surface mining emma kuru mu hane de na edumati tupa ye family ye ma menu papa mu na family ba surface mine no obe clear sa farmlands ni na nti at the moment no adwuma potin pa de bi ni ho nti unhu oden a you go into galamsey ninta make us ho oden na wo komuni say AGA will not allow you
ye kosoro ya kwa de bi ma echi e obuase galamsey ngro mutimi chi a more than so we cocaine adwuma me see ya che me tum ya dim 25 million cash to fans on mu jame o de me che no ne de bia wo obako bia be chewo be so ha na yet no yentimi nkowia.
So we parked the car here and we started removing the stones and the trees, not knowing the men had laid ambush at the top there, armed with cutlasses, sticks and locally manufactured pistols. So as soon as we started removing them, suddenly they rushed towards us.
Say ke be fam rantie na adwuma ana say ye be me baby me rantie no so atumi adidi. Ise baby wo ho ma say omo nya adwuma wo biem a ye nyina ye nitua baby di say car so no ni ade nyina ye nitua.
Ni ahwa ya na AGF ya bane de beto na manim na momoa yen ye frɛ nipa na omo kasa so ekwa na ekoso na de yehu ni sɛ nipa no binum wɔ hɔ no mo a ye hu sɛ sebi ye nya dwuma bia sɛ gold na ne bepe ekwambɔne so.
So the only reliable income for the chiefs directly becomes the royalty, and it is shared between the assembly and the owners, if you like, the chiefs who own Obuasi land. And there are about 5 paramounts. Under them are numerous sub-chiefs. So at their level, before it even shared according to the sub-chiefs, the man is already exhausted. So they tell you that they don't even get enough.
All right, Mr. Elimah. Hello.
Standing for peace. Regular sound all star. That's it. Azaji dia abato brenas. One my yen for some J. Yen fanko to abiye. Na ye queen na my baby my engine no man no more.
All right. So
I didn't get your question.
I don't know if you heard if you at least heard some of the audio that was being played. As I said, I wish I'd been able to come on camera so that you would see the video also. But we'll work with what we have.
Yes, I heard it.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So let's with all that in the backdrop, let's start from here. Have you heard about the new ban on community mining? What's your reaction? First of all, what is community mining?
Well, the idea of community mining came about as a result of concerns that the existing mining regime did not consider the participation of local people. So we felt that, well, for small-scale mining, we had, commercial interest coming in, getting the concession and the mining and then going away. But then the government at the time thought that, well, why don't you create a system where interested community members, particularly the youth, can also participate in legal small-scale mining without risking their lives to do illegal mining. Mm-hmm. So that was the idea behind the community mining concept. So unlike the conventional small-scale mining, for community mining, government acquires the concession, government prepares the concession, government grants them everything that they need, all that the community members, the identifiable community groups needed to do was to just move to the site and then do their mining. So that was all. So it is not markedly different from the conventional small-scale mining, except that in this case, instead of the concessionaire going around and looking for a concession to mine, this time around, government did everything on behalf of the communities, and then they went ahead to mine. But the problem with community mining, if I'm to answer the possible second question you'll be asking, the problem with the community mining concept were basically three. Number one, the whole concept was politicized. I mean, heavily politicized, because it came out of the outcry of the public against the NDC, then the NDC regime one. I mean, President Mohammed's regime, the first regime. People felt that he had failed to rein in these illegal miners, to stop illegal mining, and so on and so forth. So the new government felt that, well, let me do things differently. So unfortunately for them, it also meant that giving priority to their own members, giving priority to their own party people to do the mining. So that was the first error the government committed at the time. The second one had to do with the nature of mining. We felt that because government had acquired the concession, because government was very interested in how mining was done and was very committed to ensuring that they did things differently, the miners will ensure that there was they did the mining in a very sanitized manner. But unfortunately, the mining that went on was not different from the Galamsey that was very evident in the 2016 period, which they criticized. So that was also another problem. And then the third problem was that this whole thing about community mining was very, very disorganized. Very, very disorganized. Disorganized in the sense that there were no structures as to who qualifies to be part of the community mining.
We're still connecting with Mr. Richard Elimah, natural resources and development expert. Again, I hate to say as usual, but as usual, we're having connectivity issues. We will be connecting with him shortly, I believe.
And difficulties we overcame. The same differences make us stronger. Over here, over there, voices come a unique hating with the nation. One let the preferences set the sister against system of your trans brother. Yes, brother, moving together. It's the power of true unity.
You don't really wanna die at this time. When everybody wants to survive, you don't sacrifice.
Went off. I don't know if you can just
All
prompt
right.
me, then I continue from there.
Okay, so you basically just outlined the three issues that you had with the community mining. I don't know if you can move on from there, or is there something else you wanted to expatiate on before we move from there?
Okay, so I mentioned number one, the introduction of partisanship in the selection of the beneficiaries of the community mining concept.
Yep.
Even before the concept was started, you remember that the government had an MOU with the University of Mines and Technology to train some miners. I mean, the whole idea was to train these potential miners in health, safety, environment, and so on, so that they could do the mining in an environmentally sustainable manner. But the sad thing is that if you look at those who participated in this training, about 90% of them were party executives, people who had nothing to do with mining. So that was the first misstep that the government took at the time. The second one had to do with the fact that the whole community mining concept itself was not so markedly different from Galamsey. There were no structures. It looked like there were no specific requirements that anybody had to meet in order to be given a concession. So the government prepared the concession. The government did everything for them. And then once you are a party person and you are interested, usually it's the party secretary or an executive of the party who will then select who will participate in the community mining. So right from the onset, there was exclusion of some people. I mean, once you are identified as belonging to the position, then forget it. You will not be part of the mining. So this in itself created a situation of where you excluded section of the people, and that didn't augur well for sustainability of the entire concept. Finally, okay.
No, go ahead with the
finally. Finally, the what was the end game? What was the end game? Hello.
Yes, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Mr. Elimah, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh, wow. They get this bad. I never knew the lines get this bad. Mr. Elimah, can you hear me? Oh gosh.
Before it goes off again. The final point I was making is there was no end game. Community mining was supposed to be a stopgap measure, but what was the end game? After community mining, then what? What next? That plan was not there. In effect, there was no policy document that explained what community mining was supposed to achieve and to what extent it was supposed, what role it was supposed to play within the mining sector itself and so on. So, these are some of the problems that bedevil the community mining concept.
Let me ask you quickly. From the video that we played, and that was many years ago, Richard, many years ago. And even today, we're also looking at this, right? There was a group of people who were saying, hey, we are an organized team. We are small-scale miners. Give us the responsibility so we can help check this for you. Why did government not connect with this group? Are they not there still?
I think it's more of the politics. It's more of the politics. I mean, there are examples across Africa that we can look up to. There are examples across Latin America that we can look up to. Ethiopia has successfully integrated small-scale mining into its national mining programs. Peru has also successfully integrated small-scale mining. Why can't Ghana do the same? That is a problem, you know. So let me give you an example. All what the civil society groups have been saying is organize these groups, forget about the politics, forget about who voted for you and who didn't vote for you. Organize them, train them in how to handle some of the chemicals used in the mining sector. Once you organize them, you give them tax, you form them into cooperatives. The key word here is cooperatives, not just any group at all, but cooperatives, registered cooperatives that have structures that you can look up to. One. Number two, once you've registered them, link them up with the University of Mines and Technology. They train mining engineers every year. These mining engineers can go and have attachment. They can be attached to these cooperatives, support them in doing their mining properly, and so on. Number three, when it comes to the sale of gold, the sale of whatever comes out of their sweat, government should buy. Government should be the sole buyer of whatever comes out of the industry. So once government buys their gold, it means they are assured of their money. You know, instead of they going to look around for buyers and the buyers also exploiting them and so on, government can buy the gold from them straight ahead. And then it will become even an incentive for them to do proper mining, because government can then say that, look, I can only buy your gold if you are mining properly. That is what Ethiopia has done, and it is working for them.
I see.
So I don't see why Ghana cannot do the same.
I see. Let's zero in on the ban. What's your reaction to the ban? What's your what does it even mean for you?
It won't change anything. It won't change anything. To be honest with you, it won't change anything. The only difficulty we have is that if you are banning the community mining, then of course it should be replaced with something. It should be replaced with something else. So I am rather looking at an integrated kind of approach to the whole thing. You are banning community mining because it is not serving its purpose, but then you are replacing it with something that is more inclusive, something that is more environmentally sustainable, something that will be that can engage the youth in mining communities, and it will dissuade them from getting into illegal mining. That is what I'm looking at. But banning the community mining concept alone will not solve the problem of illegal mining in Ghana.
How so though? Because again, we also hear that licenses that were given wantonly, after December 7th, have also been revoked. You don't think this is at least going to move the needle a little bit at all?
I do not know the motive behind that ban, to be honest with you. And why 7th December? I mean, what is so magical about 7th December?
I think, Stelima, I think
magical
because
about that date.
Yeah, I think it's because I don't know, but I think it's because it was in the news that like a bunch of licenses were given after that day. Again, I don't know what your reaction would be to that.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's possible once the government felt it was losing the election, it would rush in granting many licenses to its cronies and so on. That is that. But then, I mean, legally speaking, if somebody goes through the process, if somebody succeeds in applying for a license, going through the process and getting the license, I do not see how 7th December will play any role in this. I would rather want the minister to audit all small-scale mining licenses that have been given for the past 8 years. We want an audit, not just banning or revoke. Oh, yes. I mean, because if you check the past 8 years, the MPP government granted more licenses than all governments from PNDC to NDC1 combined. They gave more licenses. So it will be proper to then do a comprehensive audit of all these licenses and then weed out those who are not living up to the terms of their license. So when the license is given.
So then this is where somebody will say it may be getting a bit political if you put it like that. I mean, if you say 8 years, because then somebody will say, okay, yeah, I do hear you saying the NPP government gave most licenses than any other government. But then don't we have to also look back a little bit and probe, let's say, the past 16, 20 years maybe?
Well, it can be done. But the basis for looking at the 8 years is, I asked a very simple question. Why did the past government grant more licenses than any other government since 1989 when the small-scale mining law was passed? I think it makes sense from a research perspective.
It does.
To date it from the past 8 years. It has nothing to do with the politics.
It does, but then people there'll be kickback, right? Because that's the story. There's always another group of people who would, for whatever reason, kick against reasoning. Yes. So
And I believe that there is, if people look at it and then the audit is done and then the bad ones are, the licenses are revoked, but then the clean ones are allowed to move on, then the outcome of the process will justify the perception whether there's a partisanship or not. So it's about being fair. It's about being fair, about being transparent in the processes or procedures going to be used in doing the audit of all the licenses. I can tell you on authority that more than 50 or 60%, I'm being very conservative, more than 60% of the licenses that have been given for the past 8 years are either lying dormant, are not being used, or they have been sold to Chinese illegal miners. I'm telling you for a fact. So doing an audit will enable the government to have an idea of the state of small-scale mining in the country and what it can also do to support legal small-scale mining and to also introduce some reforms to weed out the illegal ones.
I see. Richard, one thing I've heard being said a lot is this idea of giving concessions that have been previously mined by bigger companies like AGA, and so on, to small-scale miners so that they can come in and do, some type of mining which, will not affect the environment too much. Is this still feasible? Do you think it's a good idea?
Sorry, the line was very faint, so I didn't hear you well. If you can repeat.
I'll repeat the question. So I was asking, I've heard it said, a few times, more than a few times really, about giving concessions that have been previously mined by bigger companies like AGA and so on, giving those lands to small-scale miners to kind of glean and also make a living out of that. Is this a good idea? Is it feasible? You there?
Standing for peace. Reggae that sound. I say, I touch it here. I bat your brain as one my yen for some J. Yen fan got to a be. Now, yeah, queen, my baby, my yen.
I don't know if your question is giving abandoned mining concession by these big
exactly.
big multinational mining companies, giving them to small scale miners.
Exactly, that's the question.
You want to know whether it is feasible.
That's the question. That's the question, Richard.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You want to find out whether government giving abandoned large scale mines to small scale miners is feasible?
Yes. Yes, that's the question. Oh gosh. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Hello.
Looks like we'll have to bring it to an end because we have other things to other stuff on the show. We've eaten way too much into the show trying to bring you this all important interview, but looks like we will have to end it here and carry on with the show. We still have the other interview to bring you from David Hundeyin, but before that, actually let's bring you that interview whilst the reporters get ready. Reporters, please get ready. In about 15 minutes or so, we'll be coming in with the reports. In the meantime, let's go straight to our interview, concluding part of our interview with David Hundeyin, founder of West Africa Weekly.
As teacher, let's talk about how there's the Wagner Group in Burkina Faso and whatnot. And it's like, even from a diplomatic point of view, you don't do that.
Very proper.
You don't do that. That's in my opinion, that's a mistake. You don't
It
do
is.
that, right? Even if you're going to make such an accusation, you say it in deliberately vague terms and you don't name names. It's a diplomatic mistake, and clearly that was not well received at all in the AES campus. I know this because I speak to these people, or at least their media extensions. I speak to them quite often, and I knew that this did not go down well at all, and it created a lot of bad blood. And why that was a very complicated situation is that, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of ethnic Burkinabes who live in Ghana, and not just Burkinabes, also Nigerians as well who live in Ghana. There are a lot of West Africans who move in and out of Ghana, because Ghana is that place in West Africa where even if you're an African American or an Afro-Caribbean, Ghana is that place where you feel like, as long as you have West African heritage, you feel like this place is welcoming to you. Ghana is that country that understands what it means to be Pan-Africanist, right? So you have this large population of people in this country, and then at the same time, you're starting to have this idea that maybe this might be changing. Maybe these people might not be welcome anymore. Maybe Ghana's positioning, which has existed since the days of Kwame Nkrumah, maybe it's going to change permanently, which is a terrible thought. All these issues were starting to come up. I personally witnessed a number of these conversations. I was in Kenya at the time, and this thing was being talked about as far away as Kenya. And the perception was, are the tectonic plates in West African geopolitics shifting? Is Ghana becoming a fully Western aligned country in a way that it has never been before? What is happening? Is Ghana turning into Nigeria or Cote d'Ivoire? What's going on here? But to be honest, it's a very, very big relief that the new president seems to have understood that that's a very dangerous road to go down. Even if you say that, you don't want to recognize the AES because of this, again, those misdirections, that, it's authoritarian, they took power in a coup, they seized power from democratically elected. Even if you say that's what you want to do, regardless, you don't create enemies with your next door neighbors. You just don't do it.
Just not smart.
It's just not a clever thing to do, right? I mean, part of the reason why I'm so disliked by the Nigerian establishment is that I was one of the few people who was prepared to say this thing openly at the time. That Nigeria going to potentially try and start a war with Niger, a country that you share 1,000 kilometers of undemarcated border with. It's a ridiculous idea.
Yes.
It's not a sensible thing at all. And if you set that region on fire, there's no US or France that's going to be able to help you. No. It's just going to be on fire for decades, like the way Somalia was set on fire in the 80s.
And Nigeria is already a country that's still struggling with the remnants of Boko Haram and all these other troubles. Why even think of
why would you import a new war with a very different type of enemy to your doorstep? Why would you do that? This is not some ragtag, militia carrying AK.
Exactly.
This is a trained national military. Why would you do that to yourself?
And then for Ghana, a country that has been almost like an oasis of peace in a region of turmoil, why invite that nonsense to your doorstep?
Exactly. It's not a clever thing to do at all. Ghana, I think, is best served by pretty much being exactly the way it is, being that peaceful country where everybody around the world, not just in Africa, everybody knows if you want to invest in West Africa, where's the first place you go to? Everybody knows you go to Ghana. That's not necessarily because Ghana is this fantastic place, but everybody just knows it's a stable country. It's a place where, like, you can, if you flip the switch, 9 times out of 10, the lights will come on. If you go out to take a walk at 10 p.m., nobody's going to snatch your bag and run away. It's, the basic systems at the most basic level, they function, they work. Life is okay. It's not fantastic, but it's functional. Everybody knows that. So it will be the biggest mistake to lose that positioning and then become thought of in the same space that Nigeria is thought of. Because, what Nigeria has going for it is that even though it's an extremely tumultuous and unstable place. It's just such a large economy that it's able to take these shocks. Ghana is like a fraction of that size.
And I feel like
if Ghana were to become unstable, that would be curtains. That would be good night.
Yes.
Nobody wants to see that.
Yes. And the point that you just made about Nigeria also, David, I think that part of that also is that Nigerians themselves as a people hold the balance against all that extra stuff that's going on. Meaning that the people themselves have a way of checking, keeping a certain balance, so that even though there's heavy political involvement, the social structures also have a big say in what happens in the country.
Yes.
I think that also has to do with it.
Yes.
But let's look at this before we segue into the other topic, David, and briefly, please, if you will. That Russia, we cannot, look away from the big elephant in the room. Russia in that region, in the AES region, the relationship between Russia and the AES. Tell us a little bit about that before we go on to the other topic and wrap up real quick. Thank you.
So, to the best of my understanding, it's primarily a military relationship between Russia and those countries. And the reason is the military relationship is very simple. There can be no military partnership with the West. So if the entire basis of the revolution that brought you into power is that you are breaking out of the system that the West has imposed upon you, you cannot go to the same people and ask for help to buy weapons from them or to train your soldiers and your special forces.
Or even to trade.
Support the terrorists. You can't get anything out of them. So you need to look for where there's an alternative. Now, personally, I am one of those people who actually prefers to deal with the Chinese over the Russians. But what I've come to understand over the past couple of years, especially with the Chinese in Africa, is that the Chinese are interested in trade. But in as much as they're interested in trade and building infrastructure, and partly as a result of the fact that obviously more than 70% of Ghana speaks a variant of the Akan language. So there's less potential for ethnic strife. Obviously, more than 70% of Ghana is also Christian, so there's less potential for religious division. So even though Ghana is obviously multi-religious, there's just the way the religions are practiced in consonance with each other. It's very different to how it is, for example, in northern Nigeria. In northern Nigeria, like right now, it's Ramadan. Even if you're not a Muslim, if you're a Christian in northern Nigeria by this time, you cannot be seen eating in public. You might lose your head for that. Yeah, in northern Nigeria. So again, that sounds completely foreign to you in Ghana.
So they shut down restaurants?
That happens
during that time?
In northern Nigeria, that happens, yes. Not the whole of Nigeria, but in northern Nigeria, that
yes.
does happen. So in Ghana, you guys you drive your car to a church, park there, and cross the road to go to the mosque, and nobody thinks there's any problem with that, right? You guys take that for granted. A lot of us do not take that for granted. Wow. And a lot of us, like, one thing that always irritates my Ghanaian friends whenever I'm driving through Accra with them is that I'm constantly pointing out these little things. And to them, it's like, shut up. It's not
like what's the big
deal? But to me, it's a very, very big deal, because that's not the reality that I was raised in. So politically, Ghana is viewed as a country which has a very, very low potential for instability, which makes it a very attractive, not just for investment, but even in terms of just living. There are so many people I know who have careers in Nigeria and in elsewhere across the sub-region. They run businesses in those places, but their family is in Accra. Right? They bought a house in Accra. That's where their family lives. That's where they raise their kids, because they feel like that's the place where there is a significant level of social cohesion that still exists. So that's how Ghana is viewed. And from the point of view of an outsider who has lived in Ghana several years as I have, I really, really, really hope that Ghanaians actually understand that these things are not they are not set in stone. They are not facts that will just remain the way they are forever. That these things are things that have to be constantly protected. Right? Because one thing I've come to understand about Ghanaians is Ghanaians take Ghana for granted a lot. Ghanaians think Ghana just exists in a vacuum. It doesn't. Right? There there are people in Ghana's history that many Ghanaians aren't even aware of, who have paid the ultimate price for keeping Ghana, for first of all, even putting Ghana on the map at all and turning it into a reasonably progressive sort of society. And then people who paid the price with blood for keeping it that way. There are global institutions that gave instructions to leaders in Ghana that you guys have no business trying to industrialize your economy, trying to build universities for Ghanaian students, trying to, take your people out of poverty. That's not your job. Your job is to export cocoa. Right? Your job is to send Ghanaians to the farms so you can export an ever-increasing culture. Your job is to send Ghanaians to the Galamsey sites so they can export raw, unrefined gold. Right? These things exist on paper. The Harare Declaration of 1986, right? This is not just me saying this. The Harare Declaration of 1986, where the World Bank gathered all the finance ministers from, I think, 15 African countries. Ghana was one of those countries. And the World Bank told them that funding education is should not be a priority for you, and we will not be providing funds for the purpose of financing education. That the global market does not need tertiary educated
Africans.
Right? What the global market needs from you is resources. We need gold, we need bauxite, we need copper, we need cocoa. Go to your farm and pump out that cocoa, export it to us. That is what we need. So there are people in Ghana who have actually paid the price for ensuring that there is a University of Ghana. There's the Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. There's a university in Ho, as it pronounced Ho. That there are institutes for nurses to learn their trades. That there's a Kolebu Medical School. These were all political decisions that were made at very great cost. Ghanaians think these things just exist in a vacuum. They don't, right? And if Ghanaians understand that there are forces out there that exist to try and ensure that Ghanaian lives remain as small and as poor and as pitiful as possible, then Ghanaians will understand that they actually need to fight for their country. Because currently, I don't think they understand that.
Interesting, David. Thank you very much. As we bow out now, I just want to make a quick point that Ghana has seen a little bit of what we may describe as civil war. But then if we look at other African countries, we can't even call that civil war because it's never been the whole entire country engaged in some type of strife. It's normally pockets of, these are normally connected with like traditional authority and that type of thing. So you're completely right if you say that Ghana has not experienced any civil war at all. But just for clarity, and just so people don't feel like we are minimizing those, little pockets of indifference, I'm just making that quick point. But as we go, David, thank you very much, first of all, for taking time for us. I know it's quite late where you are. We'll let you go. Thank you very, very, very much. I'm completely blown away by this interview. I swear to you. I knew I was going to get something of this pedigree, but I'm still blown away, as I always when I listen to you. Thank you very much. As we go, final question, and be very careful how you answer this one because it might affect your chances of becoming a Ghanaian citizen. Let me warn you. Nigerian jollof or Ghanaian jollof?
Okay. Oh my God. You have to go there.
I put you on this spot.
I'm going to be honest with you because I've tasted both. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I've tasted both extensively, and maybe my palate is not well developed. Maybe I'm not a very cultured person, but I'm that person that can't really tell what the big difference.
The difference, okay.
Both of them in terms of flavor. I mean, I've had the very, very flavorful one in Ghana and the very, very flavorful one in Nigeria, and I think they're flavorful in different ways.
That's right.
So trying to compare them to me is like trying to compare. It's like asking me, do I prefer rain or snow?
Basically,
that's
like asking to choose between my mother and my father.
Because both of them serve two completely different purposes. Both of them
David, you are too smart. You are
too smart. I don't want to put in that.
You are way too smart, and I think I agree with you. I personally don't even see the point, except of course for friendly jibing at each other and that type of thing. Ghanaians and Nigerians, we do that a lot with our football, with all of that. But other than that, honestly, what is the difference? If you took a Nigerian person and you gave them Ghanaian ingredients and they made jollof, would that be Ghanaian or Nigerian jollof? I don't know. So I'm just saying. All right, welcome back. Thank you very much. So that was the concluding part of our interview with David Hundeyin, founder of West Africa Weekly. Now we are going to go straight to our reports, and then we'll be wrapping up the show shortly after that. We still have to catch the Rastafari Council live lecture in about half an hour, so we're gonna move this along. Reporters, please come in the green room if you are ready.
Standing for peace. Reggae that sound, all star. That's it. Ajaji dia abajo brain as one my yen for some J. Yen fan got to abe. Standing for peace. Culture TV, Africa, from an African perspective.
All right, so let's go straight. We have just doing so a while now. So what's going on there?
Omadu me enlighten is it?
Interesting. I just see your white shirt and your white tee. That's all.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Anyhow.
I
see. On my time, I hope so. At least I tell can't I know the important thing. Firecall, what's going on? Hello.
And think of peace.
Wow. Me who that make a cry and they showed it there, Charlie. Nah, what's going on? What is going on? Like what's going on? All right, that's the fire call. What's going on?
They said those years Santaman Temu Hanomoa Garden City of Asante region. Aye, a doom, Kumasi doom. Nano Fiada Nebeto, just say, Ijatum. Now, Moka catch you, say, doom so yana. A free 5 honor banner dear. A 2 muma, a doomina, stores a honumina, she, ama. A daya, a cow honomoye, despite a bro sign, baby a hello FM one. A honomukwane, a dear a daya, it me a cow honomoa. Because I are who send me a power, a doom, a sentiment muha. na yetu fa na yɛde ani akyerɛ nsɛm foforɔ mu a ɛnɛ stories a mede ba na maba bɛ report ama yɛn followers ne yɛn subscribers ate bie na ɔmo ahu bie ɛne sɛ Oman energy minister responsible for energy, John Abdullah Jinapo, BPM was Santimante Muhanamwa, or say we put adequate measures in place to solve doom so. I was Santimante Muhanam. Now, the nature of woman sharing few for share for 2 crew and no brother woman so for sharing a boss set. Doom so a man for home or no. A idea or man 24 hours, 24 hours. A idea doom so no. You no be
24 hours.
24 hours or show 24 hours. I'm say, sa in prepare na or shabona so na o madum light no. Aha, you know. Na o madum light no.
So you dum lighty, but na 24 hours ni yanso.
O shabona nyina na you dum light no nti oyi sa car power plant na o mbesi no Kumase no. Ehonom na imprempre mate say yese omugusu a omo ye ho adwuma na ifri next week echina Monday kuro ya anya de a yebehunu sa adum so no na amanfo pi na dwen se minister no wanto no bo na osenka oto no bo kakra ansa na wahyebo no na okogyina manhia hemfie na akoka 24 hours na akoya rawo pa because otumfo do to kuro re no brawe mo maso onye ni paketo se ba we gina na nim se woman 24 hours doom so no e ade a wait ma solve na prepare a wo kasa na ye doom light no na wa announce mo sa de na ni kire mu wo Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amwako hene so office e ho no na ho so okwhye ebo se doom to no omo de hye egu akwa a omo pese omo resolve sa e di flow se newsroom aye krado a omo da video no emfa emam kobra na John Abdullah Jinapo na Ochebo.
The power supply situation, particularly in Ashanti region, is very, very unstable. And initially, my decision was to monitor the situation. And so, even yesterday, I made a request to Gridco to give me the power supply plan for 2024, just to enable us to see what was happening. And to my utmost surprise, we got to know that as of December, the system was shedding about 750 megawatts. That's quite colossal. And so one would have thought that having stabilized the power supply situation, especially with the supply of power, because as it stands now, we are even exporting power, the power situation will improve. But we realize that Ashanti region peculiarly has a major problem with power supply. The bottom line is that it's not just the supply of power into the grid, but also evacuating the power and distributing it. And so we are here with a team to see for ourselves the extent of the situation and the work that is being done to address the challenge. Gridco is injecting some major transformers to stabilize the power supply. ECG is also doing some major works. And then we expect that the power supply situation in Kumasi and its environs and Ashanti region in general should see significant improvement. But as sector minister, I thought it's only proper that I come here myself.
Now, I'm so far minister responsible for energy, Kasawi Yanoana. Minister responsible for energy, Kasawi Yanoana. Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amwako hene. Ono so edina no disem to dwa kire mu se various institutions a omo hwe ye energy no so Gridco ECG omo nyina ya ade a omo mfa report wa omo kire mu a wose omo ka no kure ede kire atoye no to minister to ya okwose be ya na prepare no wo hye na obadum kane no wose ECG wose report bi omo de baba bi omo make sure say no kwasem na omo ka no nti no minister no so hyebo say ono so be ya na afomu die biara na waboa energy ministry no na omo timi resolve dum so a Ashanti region ye komu no eno so kasa yentie no.
The RCC and for that matter the Ghana Institute and we want to appreciate your sense of urgency with regards to helping us solve this ongoing power problem in the region. For some few weeks, if I may, maybe some months, we've been having this erratic power supply. Others have blamed it on sabotage, others have blamed it on a lot of reasons. But the last time I met with the ECG and the power sector players, what I noticed was that there was a communication gap between what they are doing and making that information available to the public. In times where there is even planned maintenance, you hardly get to hear of it. And the only thing you realize is that your power is taken without recourse to anything. So I met them and I encouraged them that as much as possible, communication is part of the work. So if there is a challenge, let us know so that we can help you to be able to resolve it. Formally, they've not been complaining about any problems. And I'm thankful that you are letting us know that even as far back as December, they were shedding over 750 megawatts of power. I think that if this is known to the public and they are aware of the steps we are taking to resolving same, they will be understanding so far as the issues are concerned so that they will know what is ahead of us and how we are working to make sure we resolve same. Yesterday was epic because it was almost all over the districts and municipalities. So I had a lot of complaints from most of the communities. In some instances,
nipa yɛte ne nkan yɛ Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amwakohene ɛna ɔno nso so na no di sɛ mɔde tu dwa ne bi yɛkɔhwɛeɛ no ɛno nti no Justice Manfo bɛbɔ mama ne bɔ no tiawa na mede asi ha na agye no dua nso so ato aso afiri hɔ.
Yo, you better CP Justice. General Dreams or have issues. But before I record my maybe so, what says Sam now? And me what General try so about on right, please. Now you wrap you up show no quick. Now, Justice, what is our issue? Be I say National Fire Service for more spokesperson bill said then I could Kasatia regional minister or something to that effect. What is our news now?
Yeah. Sada na ankasa no na ye wo hobi na. De assembly ti ankasa ni Regional Minister every fire service for no. Wofre wo no na omo adwen ye omo se common civilian bi akeke. Inti wo twa no tro se wo ye di nsu aba. Ye gusu a ye adwuma no. Na onim se ye regional minister e na frɛ no. Regional minister ba ye na obeduru ho no na wo se da bi obetwa no ntro. E na ma ne bufu ya na o kasa ne se wa wonim se fire tender now there be see ha no nsuo nim nso ka kire me phone so se mo afele ni nyina wa brekura na empty fire tender esi hono more than an hour into obeduru ho no na de buofu yie pa ma okeka bi kire wo mo eno na ma spokesperson of Ghana National Fire Service so beka say minister no ase na wa ma ne kasa na bro so ase social media hype bi na no ode pekeke na so minister no na Odipe mankasa no Odipe because ofre no wa introduce no ho say we regional minister ofre no na officer na adwin nyina ya ne say we civilian nti no wo twa no ntro no ase o keka bia di ene say ono so sabre
no wa kopani baby at
ya ono so sabre ono free RCC ekọ adum ekọ anwa ene ne omutu ka yi pa o meduru ho no ma fire tender yes ho no more than an hour ene ma sa ansem we nyina ekoba ya no nti no say no Ghana Fire Service force omo demand an unqualified apology from the regional minister nti ne ye se free Monday kro no
isn't it the other way around? I expect apology for what?
Ashanti Regional Commander and say omo pay apology from the regional minister. Say you see ne kasa ye no. One na nkasa yi enu ti no. O me pacho. Nti they say no. I don't know current issue we ho no say.
Regional minister ne mun ke say or demand apology from nipa no call out ko say ono ne kasa doso in spite of their watch match is say no. Say indeed of frey. because of ordinary person be, so to speak, you know, or more so yeah, it should not be turned and whatever it is they told him. Or no one can someone an apology. Fire service for no some apology.
Regional commander and say regional minister can say you into umbrella render apology. You so.
Interesting. Yo, the better justice. Now, I'm saying to say, I didn't know the answer. I'm saying, I don't know, he's having connectivity issues, and then I can say connectivity is terrible. Don't so suit him. It's a better opinion for now. Why? Yo, all right.
London for peace. Bring that sound, all star. That's it.
And this is where we bring the curtains down on the show. We thank you very much for sticking with us. Today has been here and there because of the connectivity and all that. We'll still give thanks for what we're able to put in about half an hour or so. We should be back with the live lecture from the Rastafari Council Ghana. And until then, I will see you. Thank you very much for checking in with us today. Bye for now.
Refugee crisis. Remember so much.